Hello, welcome back to more GBO2. Today we have a Gelgoog cannon variant. This is the variant apparently made for Jacobius Node, who I don't know because I haven't read The Return of Johnny Raiden. Yes, I do have the mobile suits information pulled up in front of me so that I can remember all these names. Well, except for The Return of Johnny Raiden, that's an easy one to remember, but Jacobius Node is just an odd one. Regardless, I need to read the manga. I have not, and it's probably something I should fix. Johnny Raiden's a fascinating character, and I should probably learn a little bit about him. No, nothing about this guy, though, because, well, he's not Johnny Raiden. But this one's a fun suit. It's a sport type, as you can probably guess by the fact that it is a cannon type. It has that long-range beam rifle and a bazooka on its shoulder, which is fun. I really enjoy it. You can get some fun setups where you stun with the bazooka and hit with the rifle. It's got that spot gun. I'm sticking my nose a little bit out too far here, so I'm getting kind of beat up, but luckily the rest of the team is here, so I didn't take as much damage as I could have. Still took a decent amount of damage, though, and you can sort of see right there comboing between the two weapon types. I didn't get that hit with the Sturmfaust. Looks like it was a little bit too far away to actually land that. But we're going to pull back a little bit, get behind our allies so that we don't keep getting stunned, trying to set up some hits with the spot gun. Got it on the raid, luckily. That's also part of why I'm pulling back, is I don't want anything to do with that raid. And there we can finally see a little bit of that combo going, hitting with the bazooka, get that stun, line up with the rifle while he's... You know, get him lined up with the rifle while he's stunned like that. Got to kill off there with the rifle. This is honestly going to be really interesting for me because this is probably one of the times I hit with that rifle more than usual, which is fascinating. I mean, it helps that I've got those stuns too, right? But still, it's like I tend to have pretty... I would say I tend to have pretty bad aim. Oh, I hit the shield on those. I actually thought I missed those while playing, but no, I actually landed hits on the shield with them. So my leading was almost correct. I probably should have just aimed a little bit lower, then I probably could have actually dealt some damage with that. That would have been nice. But I'm going to pull back here since we took everything out to try and take this, this waypoint. So we have more spawn points, and it's a little more points on the board too, so that's never a bad thing, but more importantly, it gives us those extra points. Gonna try and get back to the front lines. It looks like nothing else has spawned in yet, still. But, no, there we go. As we're getting closer, we're starting to see some pips. Okay, so they're coming back pretty much full force now. Looks like we lost one guy, so we're down to just the three of us. I'm gonna move up and try to do what I can to support my allies and keep that front line holding to the best degree I can. I'm doing all right. I can at least get some good damage, but that constant forward suppressive fire ultimately did wear me down. We came into that a little bit not fresh, a little not full on health anyway. Probably should have done some healing while taking that command post earlier. That probably would have let us stay for a couple more rounds at least, even if it didn't keep us in the fight for a long time. Oh, something we were damaging got taken out, though. That's nice. But we're finally back. Gonna move up front. Looks like we've lost a couple guys. Well, not lost a couple guys, but a couple of our guys got damaged already, so that's not the best, but we're gonna move up here, land a couple hits there, got him with the wrist-mounted grenades, so finished him off for our allies, prevented some extra damage from being dealt to them. Looks like one guy's pulling back to go to the base. Do you see that? That's interesting. Somebody must have been trying to plant a bomb or something. You can see him in the tells there saying that the enemy was near the base. So that's interesting to me. But I'm sitting here trying to get a setup for an attack run on these guys. Getting stun locked though, so that's not working out great in my favor. Pulling back to try and get out of the main line of fire, and it's just not working. They're keeping me pinned down, and I get ripped apart ultimately. Not ideal. Not the ideal situation for sure. So we're out of the fight again. We're going to have to spawn back in. Hopefully my allies will be doing... Well, my allies will probably... Oh, okay. I was going to say they'll probably do just fine without me, but they're... Our forces are kind of getting whittled down a little bit. We're going to be able to spawn back in pretty soon, though. We've got We got one guy back on the board. We got the rest of the guys back on the board now, too, with the exception of the one guy that just dropped. I'm going to move in here with the couple guys, the other guys that are here with me. And this is not really the situation I want to be in with two guys on top of me already. That's just going to lead to kind of getting stuck and pinned down. Got stunned by my ally there as he was trying to hit the guy that I was moving in on. So that's always fun. But we've now got an angle to shoot him right in the back. I'm shocked that hit. That doesn't feel like it should have hit at all, but, you know, here we are, and it did. Trying to line up that bazooka shot, but he's bouncing around a little bit. I tackled there to try and avoid stun, but he got taken out before he could shoot at me anyway. So it kind of ended up being a wasted tackle. Trying to get some shots lined up on these guys here, but they're already... My allies already took care of them. They were pretty low health as is, so that's unsurprising. But I push up here. If I remember correctly, I push up here, but then everybody else just kind of pulls back. Yeah, and I see them all pulling back on the radar, so I go to rejoin the group here. We are in the lead, so we don't necessarily have to play super aggressively. Our opponents have to be aggressive in this situation. With 2 minutes left on the board and them at a disadvantage points-wise, this is when they need to really push in and try to get their kills to secure that lead before it becomes an issue. But even so, we shouldn't let them push up too far. When you're playing defensive like this, you really have to create a good, strong defensive line so that as they're advancing, you're firing in on them and blocking their advance actively. I do see sometimes, which I don't feel like we did horrible with that here. Maybe we could have done better with that, but I've had matches where we kind of pull back and just hide behind rocks. The enemy pushes up, moves around our position, and wipes us out anyway. So, it doesn't work great in those situations. I got hit on the side by this guy here. He took a huge chunk of damage out of us, but he made the mistake of getting a little bit too close to the ground, tackled to try and prevent myself from getting hit so that I could survive for a little bit longer, and it worked technically. Ally jumped in and got some hits on him, and because of that, it worked. I get really scared here, though, admittedly, because we've got the enemy raid right in front of me. But ally force, comes in full force, drives him back, and I feel more confident to move up with them. I am playing very defensively now because I don't want to drop here. I don't really feel like I have the time to drop and then get back into the fight. So I'm trying to stay back, trying to deal as much damage as I can without sticking my nose out. And so far, it is working far better than it should be, honestly. So far, they are not focusing on me at all, which is allowing me to get these hits in. I'm trying to be careful with this bazooka, though, not to stun allies while I'm taking these shots. And again, still working. Still haven't been hit yet. Even got a kill in the process. That's absolutely incredible. If any of them just turns around and throws, like, a couple head Vulcan shots, that'll be the end of it. But, oh, there we go. Looks like he came up behind me, it looks like. That explains a lot. In the moment, I wasn't sure how they got me, because I was paying attention to forward, and nothing hit me forward, but that's how they got me. Yeah. So, team played pretty well. Team was fairly aggressive when they needed to be, did decent defensive work, which I don't always see, but they actually did do some decent defensive work, holding certain defensive lines and stopping enemy advances where needed, which actually allowed me to do what I needed to do for a large part. I do really like this support, and this one can get a lot more damage too if you're better at, for instance, hitting with that the spot gun. Because really, you should, to maximize damage, you should be hitting with the spot gun and then attacking the things you've actually hit with the spot gun. So, like, hit 3 things, focus on those as they move around. That is absolute max damage potential for anything that has a spot gun, quite bluntly. And I do feel like a lot of things with spot guns are balanced around that. So they deal... this one deals decent damage, especially if you get a good charge with that rifle. But a lot of the things I've seen with the spot guns, it feels like their hits aren't crazy. Like, they do feel like they're hitting a little bit weaker than some other things until you get that spot gun hit on something, and then they're dealing really good damage. But, yeah, Suit's fun. Suit's definitely a fun one. I like taking it out. You can see near the end there, I started to do some combos where I did the bazooka into 2 shots with the beam rifle, which actually worked really well, and I'm not sure why I didn't try that before, because the bazooka takes too long to ready up after a shot, so you can't bazooka, rifle, bazooka, but you can bazooka, rifle, rifle, bazooka, so I'm going to have to start trying that from now on. It's going to be harder to get that second rifle shot because you don't have that stun anymore. It's because it's stun, shot with the rifle, and then they have a chance to move, but can't line up a shot with the bazooka yet anyway at that point, so I'm going to have to try that. But that'll be that video for today, and I'm excited to show you next one because we've got more space next time, and I don't get a lot of space battles. Anyway, that'll do it for today. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.